You ain't put no makeup under.
No, today is a makeup-free day. Praise
That's,
the Lord.
that's, I was gonna say something, but nothing bad. But
Uh-huh.
this younger, this generation to you know, I'll tell you
That's important. I get you.
after. Hey y'all,
Here.
welcome
Hey
back
guys.
to Maximize Monday. We were sorry for last week. We had some technical difficulties and some other stuff pop up. I can't remember what happened, but I was late getting on, and we had some tech issues, and
Yeah.
y'all got a pre-recording. But thank you all for coming on today, and we appreciate you all. Forgive us for the late start again. I was out getting lunch for the kids, um, and that took longer. And just it is what it is. We're here, thank God. Praise the
It's Monday. Yay.
Lord. Yes, they had spring break last week. Now they're back
Oh.
in action. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anywho, welcome everybody. It's tax day today.
Yes.
You can get your taxes in. You should have them in, or you better file an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome Karen. Good morning.
Hey there.
If you missed yesterday's service, go back and watch uh, yesterday's service, and we would love for you to tune in and watch that. Hey Ty, how you doing? And we hope everybody is well today. Come on in. If it's your first time watching, please type VIP in the chat. Uh, if you're watching our normal folk, just shout us out. Let us know who's watching, where you're watching from. We know that you're on. We just want to be able to see who's who. It's a nice day outside. I'm not ready for this warm yet, though.
If it stays like this, I'm okay.
It takes me a little while to ease into the heat.
Past this, I'm in trouble.
Really.
I don't do well in heat.
Yeah, it's. I still want to wear my hoodies and
Yeah.
boots. May, June. Yes, I'm cool
Mm-hmm.
with it getting a little hot. But even then, by August, I'm like, I'm ready for fall.
I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, nice day out. Welcome everybody to Maximize Monday. And my dates are all off. I don't know why I felt like Easter was last week.
No, I was the same.
Okay.
Everything's kind of blending into each other because the
Okay.
year's going by fast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Allergies are bad. And I ate something I wasn't supposed to eat last night, but and this morning it was so good though. It was so good.
What was it?
It was a Szechuan place, so it was like everything spicy.
Mm.
And I'm getting old now. My body's like, bruh, can't do it like it used to.
Nope.
Oh, but it was so good. Oh, it was so good. Jesus, it was good. Anyway, welcome everybody. We're just bantering as people are coming on. And
Yep.
oh, no, not that. It's just reflux. Reflux.
Sure.
Seriously, this. Look, my iron stomach is just my reflux. I just
Yeah.
get a little older, you'll see the acid reflux start kicking in
Oh
when you.
no, it's been kicked in. I understand.
Yeah. Anywho,
You okay?
yeah, I'm okay. um, it was just I don't. This year's going by so quick, and I'm just like, wow,
Yeah.
it's really because we were talking about transition last time
Mhm.
and learning to grieve and process change. And you know, I often say that I think I talked about this last time. I don't remember
Yeah.
that the blessings of life is that time changes and that
Mhm.
life goes on. One of the hardest things about life is that life goes on.
Mhm.
You want some things to stay the same, to stay that way forever, and then you also want some things to change, and you're glad that they do change.
Yeah.
It's almost like in relationships. If you're friends with somebody, dating somebody, married somebody, or any relationship, if you don't evolve with the person,
Mhm.
you're gonna have a hard time. I'm 42 now. The stuff I liked at 22 is not necessarily the stuff I like right now.
Mhm.
Somebody's still trying to relate to me like I'm 22, 23.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a problem. Like, I've known you for a long time. You changed. Aren't we supposed to? You
Supposed to
know,
grow together. Yep.
We're supposed to evolve and grow
Yeah.
and change. But we want, hey Laura, hey Laura, how you doing? We
Hey.
want to we want things to stay a certain way for our comfort when life is full of, whether you like it or not, ruffling your feathers. We actually have your phone by you. Praise the
I
Lord.
know it's charged.
Yeah. Um, you you know that is life.
Yeah.
Is that it messes with your comfort zone constantly, and if you're not okay with that, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna stay stuck in an era, um, because God will ruffle your feathers sometimes, and life will. And
Hmm.
to me, normal. I've saying it for years. Normal is relative.
Hmm.
Normal changes all the time.
Hmm.
And if we don't get used to that, we're going to have a hard time because we won't always think, go back to normal. What is normal?
Yeah.
Norm, it's not what's norm. It's what's not normal, but it's learn to adjust to a new norm consistently
Hmm.
because normal's relative. It constantly changes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I, I think part of the struggle in this, in not liking transformation in this sense, is like the pressure to
Mhm.
perform, because you might have like expectations, of how you want life to be.
Mhm.
And, things don't always go by the maps that we create for ourselves.
Mhm.
Life takes alternate routes,
Mhm.
and that can be scary, but it can also make you feel like, for lack of better words, a failure, because you're not living up to the expectations that you might have set to yourself,
Yeah.
to be married, or, become the CEO of a high ranking business, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of guilt that can come with that.
Mhm.
And, you know, I think it requires a shift from looking at it in a negative way, but then being able to see, okay,
Mhm.
the opposite to that. I
Yeah.
didn't do this, but look, I'm here.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's I'm kind of glad you brought it up. There are a few perspectives today. I think the stuff that we can't control
Mhm.
is the stuff we shouldn't harbor guilt over,
Mhm.
because I had an expectation for it, but I can't control this part of life over here.
Yeah.
It's out of my hands.
Mhm.
And the things that are in our hands, we have to look at it like this: did I not do what I was supposed to do to get there, or was it just not? It was my plan, but it wasn't really in the right plans. It was
Right.
what I wanted. If
Mhm.
it was up to me, I'd have been playing football. I'd
Mhm.
be taller, and I'd have tried to play football, but God altered my life towards His plan of ministry and this and this. I mean, look at you. You went to school for medicine. That you're working in the church doing social media and got your, all that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's it's Bishop often says we make plans and life happens,
Mhm.
and that's a true statement.
Mhm.
You can consistently make plans, but life will adjust those plans, and you have to learn. We don't, even when it comes to God, we don't control the waves. We just got to get on the surfboard and learn to ride those waves.
Yep.
You know, we got to learn how to, jump on and learn to navigate the waves that God allows us to experience in life. So it's not, I like playing spades. I haven't played in a while, but it's 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 not often the cards you have in your deck. It's how you play the cards in your deck, and that's the same thing is true in life.
Mhm.
It's how well you can play your hand. That's what we need to focus on. What hand am I presented with? How do I get the best? How do I make the most out of this? Help believe that God can help me, with this, and lead
Yeah.
me plan His life, because God doesn't often give you the challenges along with. He just, talks to you about outcome. I'm gonna do this, but doesn't really talk to you about process.
Right.
So we think we're failing. We think things are going bad, and God's like, "Mm-mm, you're in the right place to get you here."
Mhm.
But it's the ability to, like I said, get on that wave and ride that wave. Play with the cards that you're dealt with.
Yeah.
So this doesn't seem to be working, but how can I make the most out of what I have in life?
Hmm.
Sorry, that was my little spiel on it.
No, that's true. And I think sometimes, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Sometimes the answer is, not right now. This isn't what I have for you right now. But then sometimes the answer might also just be no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard part. And
Mm-hmm.
how do you come to grips with that?
Yep.
Saying, and believing God that, okay, the answer is no, I'm going to trust you
Mm-hmm.
in that process.
Yeah.
But then still kind of feeling jaded,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Yeah, good.
by this is really what I always wanted in life.
Mm-hmm.
How do I come to terms that is not going to pan out that way?
Mm-hmm. I think, there are those. There's a couple ways, two ways I'll look at it. It's sometimes, like you said, it could be later. Doesn't have to necessarily be right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes, if it is a no, trusting God that He has a better yes, an alternative, if I can say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then some things, I was telling some class this. I was like, sometimes we blame the devil with stuff, and sometimes it's just life.
Mm-hmm.
They're common things that everybody goes through. Now, can the devil use it? Yes. But some stuff we experience is just a part of life. Time to die, time to this, time to this, time to this, time to Ecclesiastes. It's time for this time. Sometimes it's just life, y'all.
Yeah.
It ain't an attack of the devil. It's not, it's a part of the common temptations that everybody's faced with.
Mm-hmm.
And learning how to, again, go back to playing with the cards that you dealt with. And then understand that if God has a no over here, learning to mourn that no and then adjust your expectations to this over here. And I think what will help also is, understanding that our relationship with God is built off connection with Him, not just what He can do for us.
Mm-hmm.
And understanding that God can handle your disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And say, you know what? It's okay to believe and expect X, Y, and Z, but if God chooses an alternate path, let me seek His alternate path. And trust that what He has in this path is better than over here. Nobody has a perfect life.
Yeah.
Nobody. That's why one of the things I don't like people, relationship goals. They're relationship goals. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, number one. And people like, well, if y'all break up, I can't believe in relationships. Are you serious? No, that's not the way to think about this.
Right.
It's learning how to play with the cards you dealt with in the seasons that you're dealt with, because all of us are dealing with things that we have not personally chosen.
Right.
So how can I make the most of a life, a part of life that I did not choose, what was thrown in our laps?
Mm-hmm.
If I can say it like that.
Yeah, I think that's good, and it's easy to kind of, I guess, like you say, I try to play things by the book and do things the right way, and just kind of fall into that why things aren't coming out the way that you want them to be.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, that's where we have to lean on our faith that if it's not this, I'm trusting God that He has something better for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that can be hard to get to be honest.
No, it is. But in learning how to mature into what we want to, that there are a lot of things we want that we think we're ready for, but we're really not ready for certain things. Emotionally, psychologically. Just because you have a passion for something doesn't necessarily mean you're ready for it.
Yeah.
We mistake I want it really bad with I can do it. That's not always true. It's more than meets the eye. I'm sorry, y'all sitting there talking, not saying hello. Hey, Laura. Hey, Ada. What's up, man? Well, Karen, everybody. What's up, y'all? But thank y'all for joining. But I think that's where we learn to mature in the areas we need to mature in, and grow in areas that we need to grow in. If there's anything, when the best you can do is always take your time with something, because it's more than meets the eye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's are we ready emotionally, psychologically, physically, all those things to be able to manage the pressure that comes along with X, Y, and Z. That's why, it's important. You see somebody with favor, blessing, those things. You don't know what it takes for them to be that person.
Right.
You really don't know. We have no clue. And then when you get to know them, you're like, you got to do all that. And it's like, yeah, it's not easy being me.
Right.
It, you know what I'm saying? But we're looking from the outside in. Look at
Mhm.
their life. It looks so perfect. And then with social media, people be lying, making their life look better than what it really is. And you get to know them. You like, they present one thing, and their life is completely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And I think the toxicity of comparison hurts a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. The toxicity of constant comparison is bad, because we don't know everything that's going on in somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to be online looking like you got all your life together, and then you find out the person was taking a picture with somebody else's car, making it look like it was theirs.
Yeah. Photoshop is very real.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, come on, y'all. Like, there's contentment doesn't mean you don't want more. Contentment means I've learned to be okay with what I have, and I'm not letting what I don't have ruin my appreciation for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong wanting more, not at the expense of your gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. Is that saying, be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it.
Mm-hmm.
And all that glitters is not gold.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, like you said, it's easy to kind of fall into the hype of how things look like,
Mm-hmm.
and not really pay attention to all that comes with it and getting to that point. And going back to what we said earlier, maybe the time isn't just now. You're having to have time to gain the experiences that you need in order to be in a position where you can handle it once you get to that spot in life. But yeah, process. We talked about that before. No
Yeah.
one likes it.
Yeah. Nobody does. But I think, going back to what you said, it's hard to make these adjustments. I think it's because, and I'm saying this for all of us, myself included, sometimes we can be stubborn and want what we want,
Mm-hmm.
almost to the point where we act a little childish,
Mm-hmm.
and you throw a little tantrum because this is what I want. It's not fair. How come I can't have this? And we start, and then you got to talk to yourself like, yo, calm yourself down. Look at where you are in life. It's not as bad as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
But we like children, we want what we want when we want it. And if we don't get it that way, we throw a little internal temper tantrums,
Mm-hmm.
rather than, allowing ourselves to adjust to the flow of life.
Yeah.
And be open to changes, and understand that things aren't always going to go the way that we want them to go. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with wanting a certain thing out of life. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about learning how to not be a dog that doesn't want to let go of the bone. That's somebody trying to grab it out, and you just holding on to it. I want this. Like, no,
Yeah.
And once you stop worrying, even though we all feel like life isn't fair sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
once you start recognizing that life isn't always fair, it gets a little easier to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not always about what's fair.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to how you open things up. Normal isn't a static thing. It's something that changes. So,
Mm.
views change, your perspective change, your experience changes you.
Mm-hmm.
So that, maybe the things that we were holding on to
Mm-hmm.
in the past, our priorities change, so they're not the things that we want to hold on to where we're at now.
Yeah. And I mean, and just, again, making those adjustments and not holding yourself to your timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, we have a certain timeline, and if it doesn't meet that timeline,
Mm-hmm.
we're thrown off. Because by the time I'm 35, by the time I'm 36, and by the time I'm 38, and then it's just learning how to adjust to a different schedule. And then, there are some things I'm glad God didn't give me. He's given me now that if he gave me in my 20s, I'd have lost my mind.
Mm.
Straight up. If he gave it to me 15 years ago, some stuff even 10 years ago, I'd have messed it up. But now I'm older, I have the maturity to manage some of the things.
Yeah.
And sometimes God blesses you by closing the door.
Mm.
And his no is a blessing, and his no is often protection.
Yep.
It's more than a notion, because again, are you psychologically, emotionally, spiritually prepared for these adjustments? Because if these things are throwing you off, how can God bless you with more? They used to say, how can you be big when small got you?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Thank God for his nose. Right?
Yeah.
Thank God for his nose, because sometimes he has to tell us no to protect us. And sometimes his no, is just because it's his will and what he desires and what life is planned out. And we got to learn. And faith doesn't mean ignore your feelings. By faith, you process your feelings. So I'm going to talk about in Noonday on Wednesday. Let me write this down before I forget. Is that faith allows us to process our feelings. Don't deny them. God says, if you're disappointed, just bring it to me. I understand you're disappointed. I know you wanted X, Y, and Z. I get it. Right? But I just need you to trust me enough to know I know what I'm doing.
Mm.
You don't have to like it, but at least just trust me
and
talk to me about it.
Yep. And that's the beauty in allowing ourselves to grieve, because I feel like when we're in this position where we're having to come to terms with, it not being right now or no season, we want to fight against it.
Mm-hmm.
But, and not allowing ourselves to actually feel and to grieve, to heal through it, to kind of be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And grieve seasons. There's, and there are all things all of us wish we could have had, wanted, and it just doesn't work. It didn't work out like that. And guess what? It's cool. It'll be okay. Because it's like, look at all the stuff that God has done for us. Why are we going to let these few things completely cause us to ignore all the good stuff that God is doing? I mean, just tremendous stuff over and over again. And learning to intentionally be grateful, intentionally walk in satisfaction, intentionally appreciate God. I'm not saying deny how you feel. Be like the Psalms. Lord, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, so. But at the same time, you're still good to me. I'm paraphrasing stuff. You're my shield, you're my buckler, you're my help, you're my reward. Even though, blah, 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 blah. It's the ability to have nuance and celebrate God in the middle of all the stuff. The Bible doesn't say because everything give thanks. It says in everything give thanks. All right, it's 12:25, and I gotta get ready to go soon.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you for that.
We'll pick it up next week and talk a little more about it.
Okay.
Because there's some things I think we need to continue to talk about as it relates to seasons change.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in one of those moments where your season's changing, I want you to remember Ecclesiastes 3. God makes everything beautiful or appropriate in its time. In his time, not ours, in his time. And we got to learn to adjust to his time. All right, y'all. Ada, I don't know if we'll ever stream Noonday. I'm not sure, because that's a whole thing that we have to get set up, and I'm not sure we'll, but if it ever grows to that, we'll let people know. But anyway, of course we stream Wednesday night and all that. So we're just glad you all joined us today. Don't forget to join us tomorrow for
Linked Couples. Yay!
Linked Couples Ministry tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Also, Wednesday Bible study, 12 noon for in person. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. in person, as well as streaming. And I think Thursday is nothing, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So we're back on point on Saturday at 9 o'clock. And of course, on Sunday, we have Sunday service. Next Sunday's Bishop continues on Unlimited You,
Mhm.
by the power of the Holy Spirit.
Also, if I can say, we do have our Lord Break Your Heart for What Breaks Yours pins.
I need to get mine.
Yep. They are available at the Harvest Bookstore, where you can go ahead and purchase them, because we're also going to be doing a pinning ceremony on this upcoming Sunday. As we make this declaration that we'll break our hearts for what breaks God in this year. So go visit the Harvest Bookstore and get ready for Sunday.
Yep. All right. We'll see y'all next Monday. Thank you all for joining us. We love y'all. We appreciate you. And we'll see you later. Bye, y'all.
Bye.